Are you a busy parent? Do you feel like you're being pulled in multiple directions all at once? Are you exhausted and overwhelmed? Meet my mom. Her name is Tanikella. She's a pediatrician, expert in mind-body medicine, and a life coach. She can help you break free from guilt and overwhelm so that you can enjoy the life that you've worked so hard to create. She can also teach you how to support your family in a more holistic way.
Hello and welcome to episode 25. There's just a little nip in the air out here in the Northeast, and it's Halloween time! The children are starting to buzz with excitement, and to be honest, so am I. Not many people know this, but Halloween is my favorite holiday of the year. I love the parties, I love the costumes, I love seeing children crunch on crispy leaves as they go trick-or-treating. I love seeing decorated pumpkins. I love it all. It all just brings me so much joy. One of the things that tickles me is how kids are able to get into their costumes and immediately just jump into a role. They put on their superhero costume and instantly they are strong, capable, and on a quest to battle evil. Or they put on their witch or wizard costumes and suddenly they're capable of spells and magic. I mean, kids really have this beautiful way of stepping into a role and really fully owning it. But what about us adults? We also wear masks, sometimes in our everyday lives. There are a lot of different masks that we tend to wear. There's the happy mask and the strong mask and the smart mask. We often use our masks to shield ourselves from vulnerability, judgment, and emotional pain. But why? Perhaps it's a fear of rejection. Perhaps it's us trying to live up to societal expectations. It may even be a way for us to avoid past trauma. Maybe there was a time when we did let our guard down and then got hurt in the process. I remember a time when I was a first-year resident in the midst of my training in pediatrics. I was on a several-month stretch of back-to-back rotations in the hospital. Most days were 12 to 13-hour days, and every third day was an overnight call that would last over 24 hours. I was sleep deprived, overworked, and I missed seeing my family and friends. But that was just the beginning. I was learning how to care for the sickest of the sick. Kids with pain due to sickle cell crisis, children who were getting diagnosed with cancer for the first time and starting to receive treatment. I was doing my best to care for these kids and hold space for the parents who were feeling desperate and vulnerable watching the challenges their children were facing. One of the things about medical training was that no matter how bad it got, you had to be able to stay cool, calm, and collected for your own good and for the good of your patients. There was no room to perseverate, no room for emotions, and definitely no room for tears, really. And I played that part the best I could. I remember feeling utterly exhausted one morning while I was getting ready for work. I was putting my makeup on, and I remember thinking, this is my battle paint. I was literally painting my face so that I looked okay. Now, I'm not talking about like Halloween face paint. That would be a bit much. It really was just a little eyeliner. But this is seriously what I was thinking about. What I felt like on the inside didn't match up at all with what I looked like on the outside. I felt like a basket case, but on the outside, I looked put together and capable and ready for yet another exhilarating day of physical and emotional wear and tear. I was prepping myself for another day in which I felt overwhelmed by the 25 to 30 or so kids and their families that I was about to round on. I was not okay. The mask was both a blessing and a curse. The gift that this mask gave me was the fortitude to be able to complete my training and come out on the other side. But it was not for nothing. I had worn the mask so much that I began to truly believe that if I had gotten through this tremendous physical and emotional duress, that I could handle just about anything on my own. Yep, it gave me strength, but it was at an expense. I couldn't be me. I couldn't be vulnerable when I felt vulnerable, and I couldn't ask for help when I needed help. I thought that vulnerability and asking for help would mean that I was admitting that I was a failure. It got in the way of me being able to receive love and care when I needed it the most in my life. And that meant it led to isolation. When I wasn't all alone, it led to superficial conversations that silently shut people out of my inner life. It took me nearly 10 years to undo all of that programming, but I'm so glad I did. It was an important step in my own healing to ultimately realize that being vulnerable and asking for help was actually a symbol of strength. Think of it this way. You can't build a building on one single brick. It's going to topple. But when you have a steady foundation made up of lots of bricks, not only do you become stronger and more stable, so does everyone else. So I turn the question to you now. What masks do you wear? Why do you wear them? Let's pick one mask. Is there a gift within this mask? What is the gift? Is there a curse within this mask? What is the curse? How does your mask impact your own personal emotional health? And how does it impact your family and your community? Let's take it to the next level. What might it feel like to take one of those masks off and set it down for a while? How might that change your inner world? And how might that change the world outside of you? Yeah, it might feel a little different, maybe a little foreign. But does your inner world align a little better with your outer world? What might it feel like to take one of those masks off and set it down for a while? How might that change your inner world? How might it change your external world? Yes, it might feel a little different, maybe even a little foreign. But when you set down that mask, do you find that your inner world aligns a little better with your outer world? Do you have a sense of relief? Because if you do, that might just be a step in the right direction. And you might just have to quiet that inner critic for a moment to be able to step into the next level of yourself. Lots of Halloween treats here for thought. On that note, I hope you and your families have an amazing Halloween. See you in November.
Hey, if you like what you're hearing, give this podcast a 5-star rating and share it with your friends and family. If you want to learn more about my mom and what she does, visit her at iamwellmd.com and subscribe to her email list. If you leave her a comment, you might just get a shout out in her next podcast episode. If you'd like coaching or support, she has programs available for you and your whole family. My mom is a great pediatrician and a great person, and I hope you like her podcast episodes. Have a great day. Goodbye.